So I had every intention of coming on here and doing a tarot reading, and I might still do that actually, because I need to mess with something with my hands anyway. But I really want to talk about energy right now, because this has come up a couple of times today for me personally and with people I know. So something that people don't seem to understand, not all people obviously, but some of the people that are in my life personally, and probably in yours as well, is how energy actually works, and how the entire universe is made up of energy, right? And vibration. And I mean, I believe it was Nicola Tesla who said that if you want to understand the universe, then you need to understand energy, vibration, frequency, something like that, right? Don't quote me on that, because I'm frustrated and I'm just trying to get this out, and I didn't, so anyway, my point is, people don't seem to understand how important that actually is, because our consciousness exists on these different levels, energetic levels, right? These energetic frequencies, these like tuning into a radio. And so, I can't remember the exact name of the person. I'll try to put it in the comments section, or not the comment section, I'm sorry, in the description of this video, of who actually made the emotional frequency chart or something like that. Actually was going to reference it earlier when talking to someone else about this, but I lost it. It's scattered right now because my own energy is lower than I wanted it to be. When I started doing readings earlier today and sat down with the intention of doing this, I was actually in a very good mood, very good mindset, very good energy. My frequency was really high. And then something happened and I allowed that to shift. And I allowed that to shift in me. And I'm trying to calm my nervous system down and get out of that. But I think this was a learning moment and I need to talk about it. And so one of the things that I do is I read energy. I'm a Scorpio rising. This is something that sort of comes naturally to me. However, as a child, maybe not intentionally, it was more subconsciously, and then it just developed over time because of the things that I went through. As a Scorpio, of course, a lot of death and rebirth, literal deaths in my family, and rebirths that I've had to go through, and hard things that I had to deal with in my life in order to better understand how this stuff works. Probably for the sole purpose of helping people heal and grow and whatever, help raising the consciousness of the planet, I guess. And right now I'm just struggling with the fact that our energy is intrinsically linked to specific people, okay? Especially our closest relationships. And so it's one thing to be able to just say, okay, well, I'm just going to detach from this person and cut cords with them and whatever. Okay, we have deeply profound relationships, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. These energies get entangled with one another, and you can do Reiki all day long. You can do energy healing, and you can change your frequency. You can work on yourself all you want, but if the other person is linked so deeply to your energetic state that you can feel them consistently, that people, myself included, have had times where, like, I was pregnant and my husband could feel my pregnancy symptoms and had my contractions. I did not know I was in labor, and I'd been in labor for over 24 hours because he was having my contractions, and I felt nothing. And this was pointed out by a doctor. This is actual, it's real, it is something that happened, and things like this, that's just the best example I have. Because we share an energetic space and because we are so closely connected, the energy that he has, when it shifts, I can feel it better than most people. Now, as a Reiki healer and an energy worker, I guess, an energy practitioner, I can do this consistently. I read people's energy. I don't actually like to talk very much because I prefer nonverbal communication. People lie with their mouths. They use their words to lie, and they lie to themselves, and they lie in their minds, but their energy never lies. It is consistent states and frequencies that can be read as if you're reading as if you're looking at a light spectrum, the rainbow, right? If you learn how to read auras, to see auras, or however you sense these things with your clairs, your claircognizance, whatever, the energy doesn't lie. And so, as much as we try to make sure that other people's energy don't affect us, we are all connected. So, unless you're in complete and total isolation and you're a hermit, especially if you're on the spiritual journey, I understand that some people do that because of how deeply connected we can be with other people and how their energy can affect ours. You can cut ties, you can do all that, but relationships are needed to thrive. So instead, I'd rather just teach people about how this works so that we can try to balance out and get on the higher versions of the scale and live in a state of higher consciousness, which would be like peace and love and unity and happiness and joy. And I understand your energy will shift. It moves in waves, right? I mean, no matter what you do, you can't just stay in ecstasy constantly because you have to live this life. You're here to live it, not just transcend it and be in a constant state of bliss. Because if you're doing that, why would you even come be a part of a human body, right? I understand the whole concept of exiting the matrix and exiting the paradigms and exiting duality and all this, but it's all for a reason. It's all for a purpose. There is a greater plan at play here. And for those of us who believe that God is a source of all things, or whatever you want to call it, universe, source, God, whatever. For those of us who believe that we are that it exists within us, we exist within it, and that we are little fractals, small gods, however you want to put it, why would we have even bothered to come and be in these bodies and experience these things if it didn't have a purpose? And so anyway, I guess the point I'm trying to make is energy doesn't freaking lie. And so when you are trying to navigate this scale, okay, everything that you feel emotionally and energetically lives on this scale, right? So like health, well-being, there's a positive and a negative. Like imagine there's a line, a midway point, right? And then you have like, you could call it the heavenly realm and the hellish realm, or whatever you want to call it. And then earth is like the baseline, neutral in the middle, right? You could see it in that way, however way you want to see it. Excuse me. Neutral is the middle. You can, and each side has like the paradigm, right? I don't have a coin on me, but you get the gist. Where you see one side of the coin is positive, one side of the coin is negative, but they both have a purpose and a meaning. It's just, there is the spectrum. High consciousness, low consciousness. This is where, how do I get into this without sounding so scattered? High energetic beings of light beings, light workers, star seeds, healers, high spectrum angels, right? Divine consciousness up here, Christ seeds, Christ consciousness. Lower level entities down here. Leeches, vampires, attachments, demonic entities, dark things, whatever. Negative things live on the other end of the spectrum. So why is it so hard to choose, right? Why is it so hard? We want to be in positive energy. We want to be health, wealth, abundance, wisdom. Intention alone doesn't get us here. We have to consciously make the choice to switch. And in order to do that, we have to understand energy and frequency and not lie to ourselves. It's okay to feel the negative feelings on the spectrum because we are moving through these as a means of integrating lessons. But they affect us physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. They affect our bodies and our nervous systems and how healthy we are and how much abundance we can accumulate. And so, yes, we do have to experience lower frequencies from time to time, but we don't have to live in that state. We don't have to attach to that state, and we can rise above. We can choose our frequencies. And that may seem difficult to someone who doesn't understand these concepts. My nose is itching. People need to learn these things. People need to understand these concepts, especially when it affects their loved ones. Because we all affect each other, right? This isn't just about me and how my energy affects the people around me. It's about all of us as a collective. So learning to do this work is important. Learning to shift into the higher vibrational frequency is important. We're trying to transcend, how do I put it? I was going to say like transcend duality. That just sort of like struck my intuitive chord, I guess, but it's not really where I was going with that, so it threw me off a little. It's not just about transcending duality. It's about ascension, raising the consciousness of the planet so that we don't have to have these stories of fear, these programs of fear looping anymore. It's not just exiting the matrix, but it kind of is, if that makes sense. So I imagine it as like layers on top of layers, webs on top of webs, like different programs running the simulation, right? But we're still in it because we chose to be, because we chose to live our lives here on this earth, to do these things for some reason, to experience a physical body that can manifest physical things, right? Like creating our own video game and then living in it. That's kind of how I picture it. And all the experiences that we get to have, all the highs and all the lows mean something. But as a collective, it's time to raise up into a higher baseline, to raise the baseline of Earth from this neutral where the lower level entities, beings, energetics have access. We need to raise out of that so that they no longer have access to us, because they're feeding off of our energy, keeps pulling us down, it keeps pulling Earth's baseline down. And so those things can, I don't know exactly what happens. I go based off of what my spirit guides tell me, and my assumptions based off of that is that it's somehow recycled. If the lower level energetic beings and frequencies can no longer exist off of us, they'll either be recycled and transmuted and alchemized into something else, or be forced to ascend. I don't know. All I know is I don't want to be here. And I don't want anybody I care about to be here, and I don't want anybody on the planet to be here where there's pain and torture and suffering and misery and not bliss and happiness and joy and love and radiance and divinity. And I would like it if we could just raise Earth's consciousness baseline higher and experience heaven on Earth. And that's what I think I'm here to help with. But how am I going to do that if I can't explain it? So I'm doing my best here. And just making this is actually helping me, because I don't do verbal communication very well as most people. I'm okay at writing things, and I'm okay at deeper meanings and different concepts and philosophies and things like that. Yeah, whatever. It registers, but how it comes out is a throat chakra wound, I guess. Like, I'm not as good at speaking on these things as I am about writing, as I am at writing about them, or just sensing people's energy and nonverbal communication. Okay. And I have to learn how to get my baseline higher in order to help shift that for other people. I understand that. So I guess all I'm trying to say today with this is that other people do affect our energy, whether we like it or not. They always will. And so you can't just cut everybody out of your life. And why would you want to? So let's just teach each other based off of what we've learned, based off of what we know, based off of what our spirit guides tell us, based off of what our intuition and our Akashic records and our conscious universal wisdom has taught us, and all play our part to put the puzzle pieces together and figure this shit out. Because I want to do this with other people. I don't want to be a hermit in any sense. So I want to stop being reactive to these things. But then there's the empathic side where I literally can feel it. And I do have to, when I do Reiki sessions, cleanse my own energy. When I do readings, cleanse my cards, cleanse my own energy, wash my hands. I wash my hands all the time. And in the wintertime, because I wash my hands so much, they get just so chapped, like, because I'm clearing my energy constantly. I can't just clear away the energy of my family and the people that are closest to me, my husband, because we all reside in this little bubble together, right? And so we affect each other. And when I cannot take the frequency any longer, sometimes I will cut it and hang up or slam a door or have to go out of the energetic field that we're sharing together to collect my own energy back and push away the other, cleanse my own energy, and then come back refreshed. And it's nothing like trying to escape, and I know it comes off as avoidance, and I just want to make it known that this is what I'm doing. And sometimes when it has to do with other people, like the channel that I'm trying to make, or the readings or the Reiki, I have to pause and come back cleansed. It's easier to do with this than it is to do in my personal life. And so I'm trying to explain it and lay it out there. Okay, now, I guess I'm just gonna pull some cards because why not? I was getting just that some people don't understand how to do this, and myself, I'm just still learning how to navigate this. Nine of Swords in reverse is like Nine of Swords is like nightmares. It's being stuck in your head. It's not knowing how to escape the darkness, the negativity, the shadow, right? In reverse, this is us like stepping out of this. It's almost giving vibes of like the baseline negativity rising up out of it, because there's a bird here even though it's upside down, right? You know what, and I thought it was a crow at first, but I don't think it's a crow now that I'm looking at it closer. Maybe a falcon or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's like the threat is below us now, not above us, not looming in the air where it can just into our dreams, into our reality. It's below, and we have to rise above so that it, how do I explain it? It's almost like if we continue to rise above this and raise the baseline, we're not going to fall on the swords, right? We're not going to continue to collapse onto these swords and just sink into depression and negative energy. We have to learn how to rise above it, out of it. Okay, we have the Four of Swords, so with a little toad here guarding one of the swords. The other swords seem to be tied to cactuses. It's just all this sharp energy in the air, all this cutting ties, cutting. I know that these traditionally have different meanings, but I'm reading the energy, okay? That's what I'm here to do right now. And this is like taking my sword and leaving the rest behind and cutting it off, right? Cutting off the energy. But the others still linger there. They still exist even when we move beyond them, and the cactuses still exist. And there's a divide here too, right? Where you're just like drawing a line in the sand and saying no more of that. Three of Swords is heartbreak, no more heartbreak. Three of Swords. Okay. It's dead. It's been dead. It's decayed. It's gone. It's over. We have to learn to let these things go. We have to learn to tell a new story. We have to learn to rise above it. We have to learn to get out of these negative frequencies. I gotta shift because I have a hard time sitting with my feet on the floor. So I always start with them up. Okay. Rising above this. That's the way. The Magician in reverse. This is blocking manifestation. This negative energy blocks manifestation. Okay, 2 other cards came out. What are they? 6 of Wands, King of Cups. Okay, so in the end, when we do this, we become victorious. We become satisfied. We win the prize, right? We win when we can stop allowing these swords, these sharp energies, these negative energies. When we can stop living in that and start becoming the king of filling our own cup, the king of self-care, the king of sovereignty, the king of remembering our divinity, the king of owning our power, owning our energetic frequency, aligning to what we desire and not to what we don't. And that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have concerns. It doesn't mean that you're not allowed to feel other things. It doesn't mean that you have to perform or be in a positive state of mind at all times. It just means that you can transcend this, that you can get into a higher state of consciousness. You can do it. You speak it, you think it, then you feel it, then you manifest it. You tell yourself what it is, and then you reverse engineer it with your words, which become your thoughts, which become your beliefs, because your thoughts, repeated thoughts become beliefs. You train your mind to believe it, and then that's what it becomes. You declare and decree a thing, and that is your new truth, your new baseline, your new frequency. That becomes the truth. That is the new reality. Okay? I don't want to just do this for myself. I've manifested countless things. I want to manifest for other people too. I want to help other people. I want to help them find truth and empowerment within themselves. I want to do this for myself so that I can teach other people to do it for themselves. That is my goal. And it starts at home, and then we can radiate out. So I'm trying to build a collective. I'm trying to connect with the collective who is building this also. One more card. Yeah. You're my inspiration. My husband's my inspiration. My family is my inspiration. And you are my inspiration, and I hope I can inspire you also. I hope that we can all learn from each other. I hope that we can all rise up together. I hope we can all build a community together where we can make this work, because we don't have to suffer. And I'm tired of suffer. And you know what? I'm not even going to speak that into existence anymore. No more suffer. From now on, we thrive. We are abundant. We are hopeful. And we are powerful. And we are sovereign. And we are divine. And we are unified. And we are unconditional love. And if you don't resonate with that, that is perfectly fine. But if you do, then it's nice to meet you. See you next time.